to the World Center of Racing here tonight from Daytona International Speedway for the opening race of the Saturday Night Racing League Challenger Series, live tonight on V-Speed. 60 laps here. It's 150 miles. We got 3 tire sets available. Not going to be too much of an issue for most of these drivers, but if you have enough accidents, you might wear the tires out. We got 2 green light checkered attempts with 80% fuel load. So this is the opening race of the series. Just 10 races. Here we go, kicking things off for the Challenger Series for Saturday Night Racing League. Green flags in the air. We're off and away. And we got cars spinning, huge pile. Logan Threlkeld with the advantage. Here goes Matthew Radford, gonna jump to the outside. It's gonna be a drag race, and Radford's gonna win it.
Wow, what a finish. Man, Radford just timed that perfectly.
He's going to come into 3 and 4 with about a half a second lead. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Across the line, it's Brian Chambliss with his first win of the season.
And Jordan Trask, and they battle it out. They're going to get side by side. They're actually running it down here. What will Philip Brewer do? Will he try to get to the outside again? Not quite able to do it. Bryce clears him, but there goes Philip Brewer. Looks like Bryce Shoemaker is going to have no pressure from behind. Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
1/1000th of a second across that line. Chuck Sweeney led that lap by. The white flag is out. Final time around for the Challenger Series at Michigan. The 2-mile speedway.
If you're Dakota Boy here, what do you do right now?
Look at the block down the backstretch.
You have to send it in hard here on the bottom, but Ferrara's got the preferred line.
And they're 3-4 wide back here in the 10th position. But off in turn 4 for the final time, side by side. A door check, 3 wide for the lead. Ferrara is going to get the win at Michigan.
He's loose down there, though. He really sent it in there on the bottom here. Caleb trying to complete the pass here to grab that lead back.
A little bit of a slide job. Here comes Chuck Sweeting on his way by. Caleb Wheatley, after dominating here at Bristol, it's going to take the win.
We'll see them both take the high line, and he's in the back bumper of the 9.
Oh, man, I think he's going to hang on, though.
Chambliss able to hold on to it, keeps the momentum. The 44 does not have enough as Brian Chambliss takes home race number 10. Dakota Floyd finishing in the 6th position as our championship winner here tonight.
You're watching the Saturday Night Racing Challenger Series, only on V-Speed.
Oh, hello and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway for tonight's race, the SNR Challenger Series presented by V-Speed, live on V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker, and I'm joined alongside by Jeff Wright, one of the admins here and owner of Saturday Night Racing, and up in the booth once again for the Challenger Series. Looking forward to a fun night of action here at the old school Atlanta in these Xfinity machines. Jeff, tell us what you're looking forward to and some of the storylines from this season so far in the first 4 races.
First off, we're going to one of the most fun tracks in all of NASCAR racing, and paired with a really fun car as well, the Xfinity Series car. It's a hot race track out there tonight. 87 degrees, I believe, is the ambient air temp. So we're going to see track temps just scorching off the charts tonight, Adam. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these drivers on edge tonight, pushing their cars to the limit, and also seeing who can conserve the tires the best and be there at the end. We got a lot of good guys in this field tonight, and a really large field too. So I think we're going to be in for a good one.
Yeah, really big fields, nearly 40 drivers. It might actually be over 40 drivers at this point. But yeah, taking a look at some of the track information and the track temp, like you can see up there, almost 110-degree track temp. So it is going to be slick here in Hotlanta, and race number 5 going to be a good one with all these drivers trying to get up there and take the victory. Maybe their first of the season. We'll take a look at the points coming into tonight's race as well. And it is Philip Brewer with 2 wins in a row, currently at the top of the charts there, but I don't believe he is going to be on the track tonight. So his win streak will come to an end. Bryce Shoemaker just 7 points behind. Caleb Weekly, Michael Muncie, Judson Curtis making up the top 5 in the standings. And only 2 winners there, it appears, in the top 20 in the points here through the first 4 races. So maybe we'll see a new name get up there. You were mentioning Noah Mahalski, somebody who's been knocking on the door, could find his way to victory lane as well. And I don't see him putting down a lap just yet in qualifying, or this is in the warm-up session, but we'll see where he starts in tonight's race. At Atlanta, should be a lot of fun to see these guys duke it out here on this rough surface.
Yeah, and Omahalski is going to roll off 3rd tonight with that qualifying lap. So expect him to be one of the guys that we're going to be talking about a lot tonight. Has a lot of experience here racing in the Cup Series. And the Cup Series has been here, the last 2 times we've been here has been in this Xfinity car, and that's what we're racing here for the Challenger Series. So I definitely think Noah Mahalski is going to be a name that we're going to have to, watch all night. Another guy that comes to mind, Richard Holland. He won at Texas, which is another 1.5 mile racetrack that we went to. It was also really hot there. Noah felt like he had that one in the bag, but slipped away a little bit late, getting into some trouble. So I know Noah Mahalski has this race circled, wants to get back in victory lane, but going to be a lot of really good drivers out here tonight. And one I'm keeping my eye on currently has the pole. That's going to be the former series champion Dakota Floyd. I think he's going to be tough to beat as well.
Yeah, a lot of tough drivers out here on the track tonight as we're about to get to the starting grid. Drivers wrapping up the warm-up session here, and about to get going tonight for the SNR Challenger Series at Atlanta. Let's take a look at our starting grid, where your favorite drivers are going to be rolling off in tonight's race. Dakota Floyd, like you said, starting on the pole, the number 57 machine with a 31.517, great lap time there. He'll lead the field to the green flag. Richard Holland going to join him on the front row with the 31.560. Another great lap time there. Rolling off from row number 2, it'll be Noah Mahalski in the 31.563. The 03 machine. Justin Carey going to start from the 4th spot here tonight. Starting in 5th, it'll be Morgan Lilly. Rolling off from 6th, it'll be John Sanu. Starting in the 7th position, it's going to be Matt Dominique. Rolling off 8th, Timothy Peters. Starting in 9th, Judson Curtis and Jacob Locklear going to make up the top 10 here on the starting grid.
In the 11th starting spot, going to be Michael Muncie, race winner from Chicagoland last season, alongside Bradley Cooper in that number 2 car, starting 12th. Rob Hamp will start 13th tonight. Caleb Weekly rolls off 14th. Brandon Wallace, good lap for him, rolls off 15th alongside Jordan Trass in 16th. Stephen Davis will start in the 17th position alongside Bryce Shoemaker in 18th. Mark Hofield rolls off 19th, and Austin Belke, race winner from Iowa last season, rolls off 20th.
21st tonight, it's going to be Morgan Cook. Rolling off from 22nd, Cliff Adams. 23rd, Ben Laughter. 24th, Brian Hennings. Starting in the 25th spot, it's Tim Shinosky. Rolling off 26th, it's Chris Rude. 27th is Justin Ritchie. 28th, Keith Shoemaker. 29th, Tad Dabney. 30th is Rob Denton.
Logan Wadern will start 31st tonight, alongside Max Kost starting 32nd. Broderick Vaclavic will start 33rd. Mark McFadden will start 34th. Jeremy Reed in the 35th position. Matt Shinosky, 36th. Followed by Mike Sturgill in 37th. And the Spikers, Greg Spiker in 38th. Teresa Spiker, 39th.
39 drivers from Atlanta. This is going to be a lot of fun. Bumpy, old surface here in the archived Atlanta Speedway. Oh man, I'm looking forward to this one, Jeff. And who's your pick out there tonight if you had to pick one to win tonight's race?
Man, it's tough to go against the pole sitter right there in Dakota Floyd. He's been so strong at this track. Got 8th here in the Cup Series a season ago. But I think it's Noah Mahalski's time to shine tonight. I think he gets it done from that 3rd starting position.
All right, and I'm just gonna, I'll go with the number 2 as kind of a sentimental choice here. Bradley Cooper, V-Speed's very own. We'll see if he can maybe knock on the door and get it done. Green flag is out. We're off and away from Atlanta. And we're already making contact, wrecking here in turn 1, and we've got the yellow out already. Maybe somebody not going on the start. Big pile up.
Yeah, huge pile up. I did see, I think the leader, Dakota Floyd, I don't think he got an all that great of a start, and I don't know if that kind of stacked up the inside lane, but we see kind of an accordion effect. These guys kind of get together, get forced 3 wide here, and then there, right there, Billy Judson Curtis getting into the 25 there of Matt Dominique is kind of what set this whole thing off. But yeah, I mean, a lot of race cars out on the track here for sure at Atlanta here, Adam, and that's not the way a lot of these drivers want to start the race, getting some damage, and now they're going to have to go to pit road, lose a lot of track position, and those are some big hits. There's going to be some significant damage on a lot of these race cars.
Yeah, this is Bryce Shoemaker we were on board with. Bradley Cooper, my pick, got collected in it. He was slammed into the wall there. Looks like Morgan Cook is in this one. Yeah, 54 Shoemaker, Sturgill, a whole bunch of these. A 25 machine right there. You can see some significant damage on that car as he tries to get it back rolling. As we go back live here, a lot of drivers involved. Not how you want to get things started, and aerodynamics can be very important at a track as high speed as Atlanta. But interesting way to start things off. Big stack up, 3 wide going into turn 1. Got to show a little bit more patience here with 100 laps up, slated for tonight's distance. Yeah, look at the 25. That car completely cockeyed as it tries to get into the pit box.
Yeah, you really hate to see a lot of these cars with damage so early on, but we see a lot of takers on pit lane. That's almost half the field, and part of me thinks that might have to do something just with the fuel situation here. It's really close that these guys could, possibly split this in half. I think they're about, 5 to 10 laps short. That's a lot of fuel to save, but when you got an early caution like this and go top off, and then we might not go back racing, till lap 5 or 6, that puts you a lot closer to that fuel window and potentially allowing you to only make this a one-stop race. So going into this at the drop of the green, pretty much everybody was probably going to have to plan on that two-stop strategy. This kind of opens the door now for those guys towards the back, come off the racetrack, top off, and now you might have, a decent fuel situation here that these front runners don't have.
Yeah, 44 laps is what we're hearing. It's about the fuel run here, tire run, really high tire wear. Going to be very interesting to see how that all shakes out. Looks like we may be getting the 1 to go here, double filing back up. Richard Holland, Justin Carey going to be leading us on this one. So Dakota Floyd, like you said, maybe not the best start there. He falls to 3rd after starting on the pole. So interesting, just after about 1 corner. Also probably would have liked to have seen that one go green a little ways to maybe have a chance to get back to the point straight away, but he'll get another opportunity here. And the field will finally get to stretch their legs, hopefully, to kind of get up to speed. We weren't even fully up to speed by the time that all occurred.
One major change I see right now is the guy who's got the race lead, and that's Richard Holland.
Yeah.
31 on the racetrack, 17, I believe, in our timing and scoring tonight, but when you give him clean air, we saw what could happen. Phoenix, he jumped out to like a near 3-second lead over the field. So now that he's the control car here on the restart, these guys are going to have to try to keep him close, because if you give him any bit of a cushion, you could definitely start running away with this thing.
And he'll have control with Justin Carey on the outside. The RCR numbered machines, 31 and 21. Green flag back out, and car into the wall right off the restart. We're spinning. The 84 of Locklear got turned around. They are all stacking up. Just in the tri-oval, Brandon Wallace got turned around. And restart issues, high track temp. Maybe these guys just not used to the lack of grip that we're seeing here on the cold tires, but restarts are notoriously tough at Atlanta.
They definitely are, and you add the track temp and the track conditions into it, and you're going to see some tire spin. So I think these guys just need to maybe give a little bit more space here on the restart, and just got to take care of each other, get this race going, get this thing spread out, because this can just put on some of the best racing that you'll see in iRacing. This is such a fun racetrack, but obviously on restarts, that's usually your best opportunity to get as many positions as you can early. So People probably trying to balance that, but also, yeah, I'm sure anytime you put the throttle to the floor here at Atlanta, you're going to see cars spin the tires. That's just a product of Atlanta. And unfortunate, 2 quick wrecks. That's not very common for this series. These guys usually do a really good job at getting green flag racing in, and I'm sure they'll clean it up here shortly.
John Sanu was the one who caught the outside wall there. Just tires started spinning, lost control, car pointed to the outside wall, and then they all stacked up behind 84 of, that is a Locklear, got turned around, collected the 99 of Brandon Wallace as they slid through the infield. And it looks like a few more cars potentially going to be bringing it down onto pit lane. Yeah, the 29 of Judson Curtis going to get some more damage cleaned up on that one. Looks like we've got a little bit of cloud cover rolling in right now as well, so that could cool the track off, which may be very welcome for some of these drivers struggling to get off the line.
Yeah, I think so. Just by the looks of it, I mean, it looks like these cars are on edge, and we really haven't had an opportunity to get up to speed yet. So once we do, that'll be interesting to see. But now the fuel situation I mentioned, I feel like the guys that come top off now, I mean, I think you can probably one-stop it from here. So I'm not sure if, their fuel estimates are showing that same thing as well. But, I mean, with 2 quick yellows like this, it'd be tempting, to go into pit lane top off. That is a long distance to go, to ask the tires here at Atlanta to go that long. But, if I'm middle pack towards the back, I think it's a no-brainer. Come top off, get fuel, and I think you're seeing quite a few of these guys do that.
Yeah, a bunch of these guys getting a little bit more damage cleaned up. They are going to be able to top off while they're in there. Could have a little advantage. They're going to lose all that track position. 18 of Rob Hamp starting to get rolling here. Was, I think, the one who ran into the 84 of Jacob Locklear. Bring out that yellow flag on the restart. And I believe we're going to be double filing up once again. And again, a little shake up here amongst the top 4. Looks like Justin Carey got cycled back to 3rd, and Dakota Floyd going to be able to restart on the front row once again. So maybe he'll be able to do something from the top side. That is traditionally the difficult lane to restart in, from what I remember running at this track. We'll see if these guys handle it on this one.
One crazy statistic that I'm looking at right now, as far as biggest movers go, Brian Hennings in that 74, he's already up to 10th. He started 24th, and we haven't really even had a lap under green. So big winner of that situation here is the 74. He's cracked the top 10, not even a green flag lap. So we're going to try this for another time, though, here. Let's see if we can get some green flag racing in. Yeah, like you said, the cloud cover comes into play a little bit. It should cool the track ever so slightly. But this should be fun here once we get going green.
It'll be Richard Holland in control once again on this restart. We're already up to lap number 8. It'll be lap 9 at the stripe. Pace car is in onto pit lane. Off and away once again from Atlanta. See if they're able to keep it green for a little while here. They dive into turn 1. Car low on the backstretch there. It looks like it's Cliff Adams in the 98, not quite up to full song as they dive into turn number 3. Back around to the start-finish line. It's still going to be Richard Holland in control, but here comes Dakota Floyd charging on the top side, right to the back bumper now.
And don't count out this 20 car either. Timothy Peters, he had a good run at Texas just a few weeks ago, another 1.5 mile. Believe he got a top 5 there. I know that he'd like to look for more tonight and get up here and compete for a win.
Yeah, they were 3 wide there coming out of turn 2. I was holding my breath. We've already seen them, have trouble going through the first and second gears, getting up to speed. This time full song, 3 wide. A little contact there as the 20 crosses over Dakota Floyd. And now he'll try and take a peek down low into turn number 1. Lap 11 goes up on the scoring pylon, side by side further back though. Brian Hennings and Austin Belkey fighting for position. Does look like Timothy Peters completes the pass, and Justin Carey kind of getting freight trained down low. Here comes Mahalski to the top side, trying to take 4th spot away.
Yeah, kind of getting trapped down there on the bottom like you mentioned, and now the 92 Morgan Lilly will probably try to follow through with the 03 of Mahalski, but Justin Carey probably try to be slotting in line here. And you're already seeing guys utilizing different lanes here. That's what's so fun about Atlanta. You got the race leader ripping the top there in Richard Holland and a couple other guys. Some guys choosing to elect to run the middle, and a little bit towards the back, you see guys on the bottom, probably trying to conserve your stuff. And that's such a balance that these guys are really going to have to consider tonight, is how hard do you want to push your car early? You can push it and get some track position, but I mean, if we get a long run, and you're going to be wishing that you were backing off the pace here, saving your tires, because this place is absolutely brutal on tires. You really got to take care of them, and usually bottom of the racetrack is going to be your best bet for that.
It's almost like a cheese grater with how rough the surface is at this old Atlanta before they repaved it, reconfigured it. And we've got some good battling here just outside the top 10. The 55 of Justin Ritchie in here, the 86 of John Sanu, who made a little contact with the outside wall. Muncie is kind of leading this group of cars. 24 up there on the top side as well. And good battles back here, 2-3 wide. Different parts throughout this field. 93 gets on the apron right there. That's Rob Denton. And the fifth, 64, there's contact, and around goes Denton.
And just as I said it.
Oh, big hit coming right there at the end of that.
Yeah, that's probably going to be race ending, and unfortunate. So you could see Ben Laughter in the 64 was kind of trying to squeeze through the middle there, racing 3 wide, and these guys just come together a little bit. And obviously Rob Denton's probably going to get the worst of this. As you see Ben Laughter kind of split the middle between Chris Rude on the top there in the 32, Denton in the 83, or the 93 rather, on the bottom, and try to go 3 wide here.
Flipped the apron a little bit, kind of came up, but then really had given them a lot of room, and gets collected, and around he goes, and the whole field just right there closing in, and everybody dodging, and ultimately big hit there from the 97 and the 70 of Teresa Spiker and the 97. So yeah, big hits right there. Denton gonna be done for the day. I think there was maybe even a little bit more contact following that with the other drivers, but yeah, big hits there.
This is the first time we're seeing the leaders elect to come down pit lane now, so you're going to see just about, so far I'm seeing almost half the field or more is coming down pit lane here, probably to get that first set of tires. And I like this idea right here, because now you're probably, definitely in the one-stop scenario. The only risk to pitting right here is now you only got 2 sets to the end, and we were just talking about how Atlanta chews up the tires. Having only 2 sets to go the rest of the distance here, that could be a big disadvantage. So you're seeing guys like Noah Mahalski. Looks like he's going to stay out and be the race leader here on older tires, but he's still got 3 sets up on the wall versus everybody that pit. They're only going to have 2 the rest of the way.
And realistically, only about 7 or 8 laps of green flag racing. It will still be a disadvantage, but it's not a 16-lap disadvantage like you might think, seeing the lap number up there. But yeah, we'll see how he gets rolling here. And some of these guys are going to be on a mission to try and regain that track position. Richard Holland, who just pitted, comes off second. Timothy Peters also made a stop, but it looks like maybe just a splash of fuel or 2 tires. It'll restart from the 12th position. Everybody else up in front, electing not to bring it down this time.
Yeah, it looked like there was a few guys that maybe just came down to put fuel in it, which, that could very well be a possibility too. Because now I don't think you would have to save anything. I think you could, if you were to top off right here and, ran both of these runs without saving, I think you're going to have enough fuel to do that without having to save. So
right on the edge, yeah, because 44. Yeah. Actually, yeah, no, I think that should work out. They would have enough. They'll be stretching it all the way, and the tires will be screaming if they did that. But it's definitely a possible strategy at this point. So Mahalski and Carey going to be on the front row for this one. Michael Muncie, Logan Watern, 3rd and 4th, and then Austin Belkey, Ben Laughter going to make up row number 3. If you're just joining us, this is the SNR Challenger Series. This is 3 cautions in already. We've had just a single lead change. It's been a little bit crazy here with nearly 40 cars in the field, but set up to be a good run coming up here as these guys have finally gotten their kind of footing underneath them. Got a feel for how the car performs in the pack, and we'll get another restart. Pace car is off. Mahalski in control. We get into the restart zone and off and away he goes. Car's spinning tires. You can see check up there from, I believe that was the car next to Caleb Weekly, maybe Jeremy Reed or Max Koss. That slowed down the lower line after about the 4th row. So they're going to all try and find their place here in this big field.
And no, Mahalski is now hoping that the guys that did take tires, he's hoping those guys get held up here by some of the guys that elected, not to take tires, and also some of those guys that just took fuel only. Like you said, not a huge advantage just because we hadn't had a whole lot of green flag racing. But even a few laps here can be, significant. You'll definitely start to see that over the course of a long run. But so far, Noah Mahalski takes over the race lead here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, followed by Mike Muncy right there in second. And we talked to him last week. He had a great run over at Phoenix, and he's all about winning. That's all he really cares about. He says throw the points out the window. He wants to win races. And I know this is a track that he's had circled on his calendar as well. Very good at the 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I believe one of the last races, that may have been the last race I called with you, Jeff, I think was at Chicagoland, potentially. And he was right up there battling, I think took the win in that one. And definitely had the speed, was able to save tires, and that is going to be key to winning here tonight. So obviously getting the track position early in this one, up 9 positions to 2nd place. We saw some battling at one point just a moment ago around Timothy Peters. He's on a full tank of fuel, but not on fresh tires. He's got now passed up by Dakota Floyd, trying to charge his way back to the front, up to 6th already after restarting outside the top 12. So look for that 57 to try and march his way up to the front.
Yeah, and he's wasting no time getting up to the high side, building those runs. Look at the run off the corner here. He's going to send it 3 wide. On the bottom is Timothy Peters spinning from behind.
Yeah, no caution flying just yet. He's down on the apron, still trying to get that car collected. Gets it back going here. Nice job to keep it out of harm's way for everyone else. But that was an interesting situation. Let's take a look at the replay and where he made some contact. The 60 right there behind him, 31 up high, 92, 94. A lot of guys just going for the same real estate. He gets turned around. And what a great job to hang on to it, not slam into that inside wall.
Yeah, great heads-up driving there. I mean, that car was pretty much wrecked, and he was able to keep that thing straight and not have a caution come out. So really good job there by the 20 here of Timothy Peters. He's going to lose a ton of track position, though, and I know he's already, on that strategy where he stayed out, and so he's already in a deficit in terms of the tires, but he's probably going to have to hope and pray for a caution at this point to really get back into this thing.
He does at least have the fuel advantage, but no tire advantage, and he's going to be struggling to make it up through some of these guys who have fresh rubber. Up at the front, Mahalski in the lead, but he's under heavy pressure. Here comes Dakota Floyd. Justin Ritchie's come right along with the 57. And those two on fresh tires going to be trying to take this lead away. Here goes Floyd to the top side as he's been doing most of this race. And Justin Ritchie trying to find some running room in the middle. They're both going to get to the outside of Noah Mahalski, and he's going to go from 1st to 3rd. The span of a couple hundred yards there. And Dakota Floyd to the point.
And that didn't take long at all. I mean, he was the guy that, one of the guys that took the 4 tires and navigated traffic the best of anybody. Got through this field really quickly, finds himself in the race lead. Now, if you're Dakota Floyd, do you keep on running that same line that you've been running that top side, or do you kind of try to back off now and save a little bit of tire? I think that's what he's going to do right now. You see him run the bottom there in 1 and 2, but you still got a hard charging, really fast Justin Ritchie right behind you. So you want to save, but at the same time, you don't want to give up the race lead. Going to see these 2 guys probably battle it out here for the race lead, but definitely you want to keep that track position. Clean air is so important here. So I'm sure Dakota's at least going to try to keep his car out in front of Richie.
Yeah, and Richie up 25 positions after starting in 27th, so he is by far the biggest mover in this race. Keeping up with the pole sitter right now. Third place, Richard Holland, as he's gotten up by Noah Mahalski. So the fresh tire is now paying dividends. Mahalski just hoping something might happen here, that he can get a fresh set on and execute his strategy. Right now, losing track position, though, as there goes Morgan Lilly. Michael Muncie still behind him, so those two cars on the equal strategy. 74 of Hennings catches the wall. He's making his way forward as well. Morgan Cook, who was collected in the initial wreck. Looks like he's gotten that car cleaned up pretty well. No major damage. Maybe a small crinkle there on the left front, but oh, wow, big bobble as he gets around Michael Muncie. I've seen sometimes these cars, as you turn them back to the right, they almost want to spin instantly. That appears to be the case, because that's the second or third time I've seen a car that's tried to correct turning to the right nearly go around.
Yeah, you definitely got to be really careful with the steering input for sure. If you turn back too quickly, the car could be going along for a ride. So now we're starting to see the sun kind of come back out. It was kind of cloudy there for a moment, so sun is shining. The track's going to heat up a little bit. Drivers got to continue to keep up with the changing racetrack. I mean, anytime you get a cloud cover, that could drop, the track temp, 10, 15, 20 degrees. So now that we have sunshine, I bet we see that track temp probably start to go up here. And with the hotter racetrack, you're also going to wear the tires out more. So, and actually just went up 1 degree as I'm speaking right now. So watch for that to be a factor here as these guys continue in the early goings here at Atlanta.
We were down 4 or 5 degrees from that cloud cover, and I think it'll creep back up to right around 110, 111. And the top two have pulled out a good gap over Richard Holland, but he's starting to close back in. He was a little bit faster than second place Justin Ritchie last time around. Morgan Lilly putting down the fastest lap this time, and Brian Hennings as well. Both of those drivers really keeping up the speed, both in the 32-second bracket. Everybody else at least 33 seconds or higher. So keep an eye on the 92 and the 74 as they make their way forward. A lot of really fast cars that made their way to the front.
Yeah, it's really interesting just to see the amount of positions gained by some of these front runners. You mentioned Justin Ritchie, 27th to 2nd. Brian Hennings, 24th to 5th. And then right behind him, Morgan Cook, 21st to 6th. So the strategy here has really kind of jumbled up the field a little bit. And the guys that did not take tires, they would like to see a caution probably here within the next 5-10 laps, because then the advantage kind of goes back towards them. Now the guys that did take tires here, I mean, you probably want this race to go green to the end, and you're seeing guys that are on that strategy benefiting from that. You see Jordan Trask right there in the 79 right there in the shot. He started deeper in the field, I believe, as well, in 16th, so he finds himself up here in the top 10, just getting around Noah Mahalski. And for Noah being on the tire disadvantage, he's not falling as quick as what you might have thought. So he's doing a really good job kind of hanging on here to the back half of the top 10. But I'm sure, as these guys go by, and actually he's going to try to cross up the 79 here. He's going to send it in here on the bottom, but doing a really good job just kind of managing the disadvantage that he is on right now.
He ran a faster lap the previous time around than the race leader. He was actually faster than Dakota Floyd, and this time that's the same situation. He was nearly 1/10 faster than the race leader, Dakota Floyd, on older tires. That's very impressive. So Mahalski has something to prove here. Hasn't lost any time since falling back to about 2.7 seconds. It's stayed steady here, and he may start to get past some of these guys that already passed him on the fresher rubber, as they burned it up a little bit trying to make passes and use that advantage up.
Yeah, and you can probably see some of the guys that did take tires might be, pushing their stuff a little bit, at least in the early goings. Yeah. They're trying to get, through traffic, and, you can definitely burn up your stuff, even if you do have a slight tire advantage. So looks like Noah Mahalski's done a good job taking care of his stuff. I still think he'd like to see that caution fall just so he can get back on that tire advantage, but nonetheless doing a really good job here as he runs in the 8th position.
Dakota Floyd had lost a little bit of time to Justin Ritchie. Richard Holland and Morgan Lilly starting to creep into the picture just a little bit. They're both under 1 second back. Ryan Hennings starting to close in. Morgan Cook closing in on him. He's actually the fastest of the drivers in the top 6. Looks like he's actually the fastest of the drivers in the top 10. So Morgan Cook starting to find some speed here as the run goes on. And battle behind Jordan Trask, Noah Mahalski. Those two, yeah, like I said, Trask got by. Mahalski tried to make the pass on him, and they stayed pretty even here. And still quicker than your leader. So everybody's starting to catch the top 2 or 3. So that's going to be interesting to see how many cars we got battling for the lead as this run progresses. Lloyd with the advantage of the clean air. It doesn't seem to be giving him a lot of time, but maybe saving a little bit, knowing that he's got that clean air. It's hard to say. Richie is all over the back.
That is a luxury of being the race leaders. You kind of get to set the pace and run as quick as you want to run without trying to push your stuff. So he could be kind of playing that cat and mouse game where he's just trying to be just quick enough to where Richie can't get a run on him, and you can kind of see him taking Richie's line away here as we ride on board here with the 55 of Justin Ritchie. Wherever he's going, it seems like Dakota Floyd is putting his car right there as well. So maybe trying to take the air away a little bit, maybe a little bit of mirror driving, but kind of just a late apex that he's running right now. And that Atlanta opens up that possibility. I like to run the late apex in turns 1 and 2 here. In 3 and 4, I've been a driver that likes to wrap the bottom, but that's the really cool thing about Atlanta is it opens up a lot of different lanes as the 57 chooses to run the high side here. Richie runs the middle this time through turns 1 and 2.
Got to be careful running that top side, burning the right rear tire off or right front. But he hasn't been doing that lap after lap, so occasionally get up there, build that momentum, carry it into the next set of corners. You can kind of stretch the advantage out maybe a little bit more. This time, though, still pretty even. Those top 2 within a couple of tenths of each other. Morgan Lilly has gotten away from Richard Hollins, so the 92, keeping pace really with the top 2. Holland may be using his stuff up a little bit too much. He's already down in the 34-second bracket as Dakota Floyd nearly caught the wall on exit out in front. Lost a little momentum down into turn 3, but still 2 car lengths the advantage.
Another driver that I'm looking at that's on the same strategy as Mahalski, that's Caleb Weekly in the 13, and also Austin Belke. They're guys that did not take tires, but they've managed the deficit pretty good here as well. So I think those guys started right around the 8th and 9th position. Caleb's only fallen back to, I believe, 15th he currently runs. And then Austin Belke in the 24, he's hanging on pretty close here towards the top 10. He's running 12th at the moment. So these guys on that same tire strategy that Noah Mahalski is on. And a lot of times when you restart a race mid-pack with no tire advantage, you fall through the field. Not these guys today. They are holding strong, and look for these guys to have a good run as we continue on through this race. But still think they're probably hoping to see a caution. They'd like to get the tire advantage again, but they're doing a good job for what they got right now.
Pit stops are going to be coming soon for them. We've got 44-ish laps of range for these cars with the fuel load. We're at 41 for some of these. There's Justin Carey on screen there, catches the outside wall. So Muncie, Mahalski, Belke, Weekly, all those guys with the same ending to their names. It's kind of a funny coincidence there. Muncie, Mahalski, Weekly. They all have to bring it down pit road here pretty soon, probably the next 5 or 6 laps, I would think. And then they are not going to be able to make it to the end on that fuel load. So hoping for that yellow flag potentially to reset them, get the track position back, and see what they can do kind of on an even strategy. 51 of Morgan Cook able to get by Brian Hennings here to move into the top 5. As Cook still matching lap times up there with the top couple of drivers. His goal to get back on track. I know he said he had a few kind of bad races to open the season, but looking to see if he can get up there, maybe get a win or get a top 3. Well, these top 2 have been the class of this run, and Morgan Lilly has not been able to keep up with them here the last few laps. It's lost another half second or so. Staying fairly consistent with each other, though, about a quarter second.
Yeah, and they're still running different lanes, and you see the 65, I believe, coming to pit lane. Didn't quite see who that was, but somebody making an early pit stop here in the early goings. I think if these guys could stretch it to lap 55, they might be in an okay spot. But I mean, the guys that did not take any fuel, any of those first two stops, I think that might be a stretch. So if you can get to lap 55, you can probably go to the end. If you have to come in any sooner than that, you're going to have to two-stop this race. So I think Noah Mahalski is one of those guys that did not pit either one of those cautions that we had in the early going. So you have to wonder if he's been able to save enough fuel under those caution flags and also this green flag run that we're currently having. Because if we get to pit stops and you're not within the fuel window to make this a one-stop race, I mean, that could be your race for you. You're not going to have a chance to compete for the win. So these next 10 laps or so are going to be important. We'll have to see if anybody starts peeling off pit road.
4-car battle right here on the screen. We've got Morgan Cook, actually the 31 machine, the off the lead lap, possibly. No, that is Richard Holland. He's showing a 17 on our scoring, but 31 on the racetrack. 51 Morgan Cook now looks to the inside. Ryan Hennings, Jordan Trask behind them. They've closed in on that battle, so Morgan Cook now moves up to 4th. Holland starting to fall. We saw him kind of fade, but yeah, not a great run off of turn 2 there for Morgan Cook. That could open the door for Holland to dive it back low. All of this going on. Noah Mahalski is not too far behind them to get involved in that battle as well. Keeping an eye on pit lane to see who brings it in. Greg Spiker, I think, was the one that we saw peel it off there and take a pit stop just a lap ago. Jeremy Reed brought it in a few laps ago as well. Those guys definitely going to have to make it one more time in the pit lane before the end of this race. Things seem to have settled out there. Morgan Cook leads this group. Top 3 off in the distance. The next one's in line for him to try and catch up to.
Yeah, these guys are still clicking off pretty good lap times, though. I don't know if they're, some laps it looks like they're catching the leaders, some laps it looks like they're losing a little bit, but still, running relatively good lap times. But a driver that I've been watching is the 98 Cliff Adams. I think he's also a guy on one of those strategies. Didn't take tires that first run. He's hanging on to the 11th spot. So good run here for the 98. I know he's a newer member to Saturday Night Racing League. So like we said, started way back in 22nd. He's up quite a few right now. And running some pretty good lap times despite the tire deficit. So good run here for Cliff.
Having a good, strong run. Battle for the back then. Laughter gets passed up by Rob Hill. And it looks like Jacob Locklear, where he got turned around on one of those restarts. He's been trying to recover. He's actually on an older set of tires. Kind of I think about 10 laps older than the leaders. Not quite as old as some of these other ones, these other drivers. But he's trying to make his way back forward inside the top 20 after he restarted up there inside the top 10 before getting turned around. A lot of drivers trying to recover from early incidents, some of them doing it through strategy, some doing it through speed. So we are now at the halfway mark. Noah Mahalski still on the racetrack, 50 laps into this, has not brought it down yet. It'll be interesting to see how much further he can go and if he can make it to the end of this race. Just one stop. We're going to go side by side while the action continues, and we'll be right back.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
At the racetrack now, the battle for second place is raging as Morgan Lilly, Justin Ritchie going for it here. Noah Mahalski has brought it down pit lane with a few of the other drivers on the alternate strategy. That'll be their first pit stop of the night. These guys up here at the front have made at least one pit stop. Some drivers like Jordan Trask and Morgan Cook have actually been on pit lane 3 times. They're running 4th and 5th and doing a great job in this one, but the battle for that runner-up spot still raging, but Morgan Lilly's taken the second position for the moment. Justin Ritchie now back to 3rd, and Dakota Floyd starting to stretch gap out now about 1.3 seconds as he has pretty much dominated this race.
Yeah, he certainly has, and starting to build that big buffer too, like you mentioned. They're going to be able to go probably at least, 10 to 15 laps further than what we saw guys that are on Noah Mahalski's strategy. So the guys that have not pit at all yet, they've started their pit sequence already. I think that, for what it is, Noah Mahalski, the fact that he only lost about 3.5 seconds over the course of that run, I think that's a win for them because he's still got 2 additional sets despite taking the set right here. So, if this thing gets a little bit messy in the late goings of this race, he's going to be in a really good spot with an extra set of tires. So, definitely not in a bad spot at all, but we'll have to see how far these guys like Dakota Floyd, Morgan Lilly, Justin Ritchie, Jordan Trask, those guys, we'll have to see how far they can go on fuel because right now it's kind of like a short pit almost, if you will, for Noah Mahalski as he flies by the 51. And he's going to gain quite a bit of spot here, or distance on Cook, but Cook will have a little bit of fresher tires here and start probably running him back down.
Yeah, the difference is only a couple of laps though, so it may not be as significant and as good as Mahalski was on the long run. That could be a good sign, like you said. So a few drivers bringing it in here: Richard Holland, Morgan Cook, a few others have brought it in, but the top end are yet to pit on this cycle. But you might think that they would want to leave enough time to catch back up. They don't want to lose too much here on the front end of this run if they're not able to make it up. So Dakota Floyd out here, you might see these guys pit in the next 5 to 10 laps. Some of these drivers may elect to go more of a short cycle. The 32 of Chris Rude overshot the box big time right there as he's trying to get it in the right spot. And he'll bring it in here kind of earlier in this cycle. Service completed. His car is in the wall right there. I'm not sure what number. 41 possibly. Shinosky. Tim Shinosky gets the outside wall. Not sure if there's contact between him and another driver, but he got put up in the outside wall of turn number 2, right around some of these leaders. They're still out here. So Dakota Floyd was actually right behind that Morgan Lilly as well, able to get around it. But Adam's going to bring it in here. Actually gets it rolling quickly. Here he cycles out, but this is definitely the money stop for some of these drivers. Basically all of these drivers. They're not going to have another opportunity to make up time on pit road. As we've got now just 9 drivers on the lead lap. Bradley Cooper, the last of those Dakota Floyd right behind. Bradley suffering from damage there. Taken in lap number 1's incident. This is all affecting the lead of Dakota Floyd. Morgan Lilly starting to close back in after getting through to second, passing Justin Ritchie. Could he have something to say for the 57 here tonight?
I think so. I mean, this 92 has been really strong and it's had to pass a lot of cars too. So definitely showing strength here on the long run. You see the 03 in Mahalski. He's trying to get around race leader Dakota Floyd to get his lap back, which this is big. Now if you have a caution fall, he doesn't have to be the lucky dog or start the tail end of the pack. He's got his lap back, and things should start cycling through once these leaders start getting to pit lane. And I don't think that we're going to be too far from that now. I think you're going to see these front runners start coming to pit lane here probably within the next 5 laps, I would be guessing. Noah Mahalski and the guys on his strategy, they can make it to the end, but it's a stretch. These guys are going to have to use pretty much every single drop of fuel in that tank to get them there. And then you got to worry about the tires. Are the tires going to be worth anything by the time we get down to the end of the race? So we're definitely not in the most ideal position right now. But, like I said earlier, if cautions start to fall and we start to get more restarts, having that extra set is going to be a big advantage.
Oh, definitely, and still plenty of time left in this race. I would not think that these top two would go much further, though. Seeing the 03 just fly on past them, about 2 seconds a lap faster. I mean, he's going to be the leader when this cycles out, or Michael Muncie, potentially, who's just about a second in front of Noah Mahalski, a slightly older tires. It's going to be one of those two. He'll take over the top spot. It looks like Dakota Floyd down low. And he is going to be bringing it in this time. 92 of Morgan Lilly. It looked like he was, but caution is out.
Oh, wow. Well, that flips everything upside down, and that's exactly what those guys that were on the tire deficit wanted to see, because now they get to come down pit lane, put a set of tires on, and still be in a pretty good spot. So, I mean, we're only showing, 7 cars on the lead lap right now. This is really going to shake the field up.
Not sure what happened. 98 and a 60. Oh, big hit with Adams. And the 60 gets collected in that one, and a little bit of contact there and a couple other drivers. They all tried to sort their way through it, but let's just take another look here. The 94 was up on the outside, with Adams down low. New tires on the 60 of Stephen Davis. Huge hit for both of those drivers. Steering broken on the 60. They make contact again, and look at this. This is a scary moment. Almost the track completely blocked. As the 9 goes for a big slide there. Tad Dabney able to avoid it. A little bit of a drift maneuver there.
Yeah, able to keep it clean, though. I don't think he hit anything, so fortunate for that. But you got pit stops taking effect right now. This is going to be a really, really big stop for these guys. See who can get out first. I think Muncie either missed his stall or took 2 tires. I don't know. He just drove on through. But it looks like race leader Dakota Floyd, no doubt, is going to take 4 tires here. Mahalski is down and away. Judson Curtis, pulled by the 75 there.
So Dakota Floyd going to win the battle off of pit road, and like you said, this really helps Noah Mahalski, who doesn't have to take a wave around or be a lucky dog. He's on the lead lap along with just a few other cars. It's really just the top 5 that are on the lead lap. Everybody else is either gonna have to take a wave around or be the lucky dog. Morgan Cook coming in for a pit stop here. But this really shakes some things up for drivers who are on the kind of normal strategy that pitted early. And some of those other guys that had maybe been on the alternate strategy. But Dakota Floyd, Morgan Lilly keeping their track position. Gordon Trask, who is charging up through the field as well. He's in the 3rd spot. Very interesting.
It is, and the guys that are smiling ear to ear right now are the guys that have the extra set, because if we get a caution halfway through this, they can come back down pit lane, put a tire set on. Whereas, everybody else, or does everybody have a tire set left here? I think everybody has 1.
Yeah, so Mahalski took his 2nd set right here. Dakota Floyd, Morgan Lilly, they also took, they've taken 2 sets. Gordon Trask, I would think, has taken at least 2 sets. He's been on pit lane 4 times. I think a couple of those were damage only or fuel only. Morgan Cook has been on pit lane 5 times in this race. So probably has used at least 2 sets. Yeah, so I think we've got pretty even strategy across the board. The only one that might have an extra set that's kind of up here in contention, Justin Carey's only been up at lane once. Austin Belkey, Matt Chinoski also just won. Those guys definitely have one extra set compared to the rest of the field, but they are a little bit at a disadvantage right now.
Yeah, it definitely shakes up the strategy of the race, or at least what was playing out. So it's pretty much a new race now. All the guys that were a lap down are going to have to take the wave around to get back on the lead lap, and I think that's what we're extending the caution here for. It looks like race control extended it. We're going to go around one more time around here. We got to get the running order set correctly and make sure all the cars that elected to take that wave around get them lined up in the correct spot. But yeah, I mean, I think it was what, 7 cars we said were on the lead lap that had the option to come in and pit if they wanted to. So
actually, yeah, I believe Morgan Cook was the lucky dog. Not sure if he got a penalty. He's all the way back to 20th right now, so it's possible he was the lucky dog. Everybody else is taking a wave around, so that's probably where some of this confusion is coming from as well with the extended caution. But top 4 are all on fresh tires, and everybody else behind gets some type of tire disadvantage, other than maybe a few stragglers that are off the lead lap, or Morgan Cook, who's tail end of the lead lap. Yeah, it's really, if things stay green, it's going to come down to one of these top 4 drivers, maybe Justin Ritchie as well, who's only just got a couple extra laps on his tires. I believe it was on pit lane when the caution came out.
yeah, definitely shook things up for sure. So you're going to see things get interesting here. Guys are going to be pushing hard. Track position is going to mean everything now.
Waiting on that green flag once again. We're off and racing in Atlanta. Just over 30 laps to go to settle this one. Race number 5 here in 2025. Already 2-3 wide. 92 of Morgan Lilly feeling the pressure from Noah Mahalski, who's going to brush up against the outside wall. Battle is on for second. And Mahalski, who's been waiting his turn, really have a shot at getting back to the lead. Right up there in contention now. Gets by the 92. And Dakota Floyd right out in front. Ryan Hennings, Justin Carey side by side, 6th and 7th. And it is pretty well spaced out in this field behind them. We're going to see some battles on these older tires further back. Keep an eye on the 51 as he tries to march past all of these drivers as he goes for a big slide right there. Sure what happened, but he went off the track. Turn number 2, so still back the tail end of the lead lap on fresh tires. Morgan Cook not getting things to go quite his way here the last few laps. Some of these other battles looks like got side by side right there, the green machine as well as the 2 of Bradley Cooper, but lead off the lead lap.
Yeah, a couple of these guys, just with the way the caution fell and so many wave rounds, there's a lot of guys that had to start single file, and I don't know if all the lap cars got all the way to the tail end of the field or not. So the order is kind of jumbled up a little bit back there. Chris Rude showing 3 laps down. Bradley Cooper is showing 1 lap down. So kind of a mixed field right now. You see Austin Belkey and the 24, he currently runs 8th. Caleb Weekly 9th. Rob Hamp now has cracked the top 10. So
Justin Carey caught the outside wall, kind of rode it off of turn number 2. Running in that 7th position, tire disadvantage. And you see Ryan Hennings, he's also kind of the first car on older tires in that 6th position. Justin Ritchie was able to get by. He's a couple of seconds behind your race leader, but Mahalski is just all over the back of Dakota Floyd. They race down the backstretch. They're on lap number 73. He's going to look to the inside in turn 3. What can he do here? Keeps it pinned down along the white line. Dakota Floyd not going to give him too much space to bring it up off the corner. He's going to hang on to the lead for the moment. But Mahalski is charging.
It's going to be really hard to complete the pass here on the bottom. You think Noah might have to consider, the old slide job, get a really good run coming off turns 4 and get enough of a run that it can carry you down the front straightaway, down into turn 1, and then, maybe just try to slide up in front of them. It's really difficult to make a pass here on the bottom, especially when somebody's running that top as good as Dakota Floyd can. So, you would think that, these guys showing about 25 laps to go are still saving a little bit of tire here, but I mean, the urgency is definitely, moving up and at a fast rate here. So Noah Michalski knows that he needs to try to pull some sort of move here to try and complete the pass, because the longer you run in his dirty air, the harder it's going to be. So I imagine the urgency on the 03 to complete this pass has got to be pretty high right now.
You can see he's trying that inside line, getting up to the quarter panel on exit, but just does not have the momentum to slow down the 57 with the side draft. Right now, a couple of car lengths back, gonna have to reload and try another way. This time not quite as low down the racetrack, and Dakota Floyd not as high up the racetrack. And that is going to allow Michalski to close the distance just another car length, and Morgan Lilly going to get right back into this battle. It's 3 cars under a blanket. Jordan Trask just a couple more car lengths back. And then you got to go another 2.5 seconds to Justin Ritchie in 5th. The top 4 have broken away. A little brush on the wall there for Dakota Floyd. This would be a good opportunity. This is one of the closest opportunities for Michalski. Gets right to the inside. Just at the bumper, but not enough momentum. But this time, Dakota Floyd maybe not as good a run. Back into turn number 3.
It's such tight racing right now up here for the front. You can see all the other front runners kind of moving into the picture now. Morgan Lilly is inching closer. Jordan Trask, Justin Ritchie. I guess Ritchie's a little bit further back, but I believe that's Holland. And he's showing a lap down, I do believe. So he's trying to get his lap back the old school way is what he's going to try to do. But Michalski sends it in hard here on the bottom. It's just going to be so tough to complete the pass. I mean, I know Noah Michalski is really good on the long run. You would think that might play into his advantage if he can kind of sit back here, take care of the stuff. But, I mean, it just looks like he sees that race lead right there in front of him, and he wants to go get it right now.
He had a really great run out of turn number 2. Not going to be quite as strong off turn 3. He just needs to keep it on the quarter panel if he wants to have an opportunity. He just can't seem to do it on that end of the racetrack. So much better over here in 1 and 2. He's going to go to the top side now. Might have overdone it. It's nearly into the wall, but he's going to have a ton of momentum on exit. And here we go. Could have a shot down into turn number 3. Top 3 cars separated
He's going to try it.
6 car lengths, and here he goes. Sends it down low, right to the white line. Through the bumps on the rough surface here of Atlanta. Can he keep it on the quarter panel? Gets a little bit further along this time. Just not quite enough. Dakota Floyd, perfect defensive driving in that middle lane. And here he goes. This could be the slide job. Is he far enough past?
I don't think it's going to be enough this time. I think Dakota's still going to get that run off the top here and be able to pull the 03. So close to the quarter panel, though, trying to pull him back, but it's just not enough. I'm keeping my eyes on the guys behind these guys like Morgan Lilly, Jordan Trask. This is an opportunity for you to save your stuff right here with about 20 laps to go. Let these top 2 guys, duke it out. Let them push their stuff, and maybe you make a charge, at them inside 5 laps to go. Feel like that's going to be your best chance at maybe getting a race win here, because it really looks like the 57-03, they are battling hard for this race lead.
Yeah, and I think Trask was one of the best on the long run during the last run before caution. This big slide there. I don't know what car that was behind the Lenovo machine. But yeah, Trask and Lilly both pretty good on the long run as well. Good opportunity, like you said, to save just a tiny bit more tire. These guys start to slip and slide. Those final moments that could make a mistake or cost them the win. Dakota Floyd has been very good here, though, in defending this lead.
Yeah, he has. And, running that very top lane, that's not super easy to do. You gotta, be just as precise up there as it is painting the white line at the bottom of the racetrack time and time again, lap after lap. But now we see the 92 kind of starting to get a little bit more comfortable, getting a little bit closer towards the lead. And look at the drive here through the bottom. Really good run here for the 92. This might be somebody that Dakota Floyd's going to have to watch out for And don't count out the 79 machine there, Jordan Trask, just yet. He's still just kind of lurking from behind. Looks like he's taking care of his stuff. Could be a car to potentially battle for this race win.
And it's hard to take our eyes off the lead battle up here, but we do have other drivers further back. This is pretty chaotic, just the back half of the top 10. Justin Carey, Austin Belke, Jacob Locklear, Rob Amp, all of these drivers fighting for position. It is really like a traffic jam. It's a little contact, and they stack it up coming out of turn number 2. That's the 20 of Timothy Peters' evasive maneuvers. He's going to take it now 3 wide. Locklear up to the top side. This is all going on just around the top 10. Morgan Cook also, he's been able to recover from that huge slide that he had about 15 laps ago. He's now just outside the top 10, putting down really good lap times compared to the drivers in front of him. The 5 machine now down low, slow, a little bit off the pace. This is going to be a tight squeeze off turn 2. They keep it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were all missing back here. We were keeping our eyes on the battle for the race lead, but it is just as crazy and chaotic back here for around the 10th position. So this is really fun to watch. And all these guys, pretty similar tire strategy. These are the guys that were trapped a lap down that had to take the wave around. They weren't able to come get tires like, the top 7 did. So these guys are battling on even more worn tires than what you see the race leaders currently battling on.
And Morgan Cook pulling a slide job right there. He might just catch the outside while he does. That was a really big send. Caleb Weekly also catching it. You see as those cars turn back to the right, they just nearly go around. I think Morgan Cook with the big move there, tried to get by Rob Hamp because he kind of got blocked in for a moment. He's on much fresher tires than those guys, but battle for second still developing as Dakota Floyd seeing his advantage grow. Now nearly half a second. And we're going to be getting down to 10 laps to go sooner rather than later. You guys are going to have to figure out what their approach is going to be to try and close up on that 57 who's dominated this race.
Yeah, the best thing that happened for that 57 was watching the 92 and the 03 battle for second place. That's really allowed him to open up that, half a second race lead. Mahalski's not going away, though. The 92 did clear him, but, he's not just going to lay over. He's still trying to push that car to the limit. As the 92 catches the wall a little bit here, that's going to scrub off some speed going down the back.
It has been a battle up at the front of the field. We're going to get loud here for a late race lead battle. And enjoy the sights and sounds of the action here from the SNR Challenger Series. Kinds of battles here. That was Get Loud, presented by FireStorm Racing, one of the sponsors of the league. And man, just so much tight racing so late in the going. 10 laps to go. The next time around, Dakota Floyd seeing that advantage now 3/4 of a second as he paints the outside wall. And we've got a 3-way battle for second, third, and fourth. Jordan Trask right here looking on Noah Mahalski and Morgan Lilly. Good runs for all of these drivers. Justin Ritchie a little too far back. He still had a fantastic race, up 22 positions from where he started. Biggest mover of the night. He can close this one out with the top 5. That'll be a very impressive run for him.
And it was, and he had the speed to compete for the race win tonight. We saw him up there battling for the lead. Just the way the cautions kind of fell didn't really go his way. Was one of those drivers that got trapped a lap down, and that's kind of why you're seeing these, these top 4 drivers have really separated themselves themselves from everybody else in the field. And Noah Michalski, big send down here to the bottom. I don't think it's going to be enough. 92 kind of down on the door, going to get the run on the outside. They're still going to battle down the front straightaway. 92 is going to clear him here, I believe, going into one.
It leaves the door open, and Michalski's going to try and just slam right through it. We'll see what he can do. Down on that inside groove, really good run. Is he gonna? He's gonna try. No, he's not gonna be able to clear. The 92 Morgan Lilly keeps the momentum up, but Noah Michalski, he's been stuck to that bottom groove. Hasn't been able to save the tires a little bit for a late race charge. Gonna have to make up a second on Dakota Floyd, but he's also gonna have to get past the 92 of Morgan Lilly, and that time catches the grass. The 92 keeps it nice and straight there on the outside lane. They continue to battle. That continues to extend the lead for the 57. Jordan Trask just waiting for an opportunity to get up here. If these two make a mistake, you can see himself finishing second or third. What a battle this has been, though. They've been battling for 15 laps, it feels like.
It has, and as they continue to battle, though, look at Dakota Floyd's lead, just continuing to get bigger. No, Michalski's going to be side by side here with the 92 going into one. This might be an opportunity to send it in deep for a slide job, and he is. He's going to drive it in there really hard, see if he can slide up in front of the 92 here. It's going to be close. I think he might be able to do it, though.
Yeah, he does it this time. Here comes Morgan Lilly with the run. He'll try and cut back down low. As they continue to do this, though, flipping and flopping, it's going to be a 10th here, a 10th there, and Dakota Floyd's going to be seeing the checkered flag first, either way, if they continue to do this. Still really good lap times between these two. They're still a half-tenth to a tenth slower than Dakota Floyd when they're doing this. And here we go, Noah Michalski finally running the outside groove. Let's see what he's able to do, and if Dakota Floyd makes any type of a mistake, he's going to fall right back into the hands of these three.
It just shows you how difficult it is to make a pass on the bottom here, especially when these guys, can run the top really well or run the middle and kind of pinch the run off. We saw that Morgan Lilly just got trapped there on the bottom, and that allowed the 79 to follow suit. But now Jordan Trask is going to put pressure on the 03, try to get to his outside here and try to complete the pass.
Not quite close enough, but he's going to give a big tap.
He's going to shove him.
Oh, puts him in the wall. They're both in the wall. And it's not going to be a race-winning move for either of these drivers. But that cost Jordan Trask third place. I don't think he was happy with Noah maybe getting up in front of him, but it's not necessarily the way to go about it to complete the pass.
No, not at all, and definitely it's gonna hurt both of them. That you just see they handed another half a second to the race leader, Dakota Floyd. So this one's looking like it's slipping out of the fingertips of these guys to have any sort of chance to get up there and compete with him. And obviously, Noah Michalski sliding the tires as a result of that. Trash sliding the tires. The car's not going to handle as good as it once did now, and Morgan Lilly able to get around and take away that third spot.
Battle just outside the top 10, Matt Shinofsky and Caleb Weekly. These two going at it here for a few laps. Further up, there's Timothy Peters, Jacob Locklear, Justin Carey, Austin Velke. Look at this train of cars, nose to tail. These guys all fighting for positions in the top 10. There's battles all over the racetrack. This is a really good group of race cars in here. Some of these guys were up in the top 5 for portions of this race as well. And, caution's falling maybe at the wrong time for them. A little bit off on strategy. This is a battle of pride here for a lot of these guys to get 1 or 2 more positions.
And you can see Bryce Shoemaker there in the 54. Not the night that he wanted. He got collected in an incident early and has been a few laps down, and really tight there on the quarter there of the 20 of Timothy Peters. But comes in tonight, I believe, second in points. And so it's not going to be the finish that Bryce wants tonight, but trying to salvage anything he can get here.
Yeah, currently runs
30th, I believe.
3 laps down. 2 laps to go in this race, and Dakota Floyd has stretched the margin out to 1.3 seconds. He's coming back to take the white flag from Atlanta. It's been a dominating night. He's led now 75 laps in this one, 76 just ticks up to there after starting on the pole. It wasn't the easiest race to get through the field a couple of times, get back up to the point, but he's been able to do it and drive away here in the late moments of this one. Dakota Floyd looking poised to take the victory once again. And here we go out of turn number 4, nice and smooth as he's been all race long. Checkered flag, it's Dakota Floyd from Atlanta. The battle for second goes to Noah Mahalski and Morgan Lilly going to round out your podium with Jordan Trask close behind. Let's keep an eye on some of these guys as they race out of turn 4. There's Shoemaker up high, Justin Carey down low with the 84 of Jacob Locklear. These guys fighting at the back of the top 10, nose to tail. Good battles there. A little contact after the line. How about all this? The 64 making a last second pass as some of those guys come together past the start finish line. What a night from Atlanta, though, that started a little bit rough. Went all Dakota Floyd's way after that.
It certainly did. Didn't have the best start initially, dropped a few spots, but didn't lose his composure, stayed in it, and it's going to burn it down here on the front straightaway at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I know he was looking forward to this race. He knew that he could compete for a win here, just had to take care of business, execute the pit stops, and he ran the high side in the middle, I think, better than anybody tonight. I don't think I saw this car get past under green one time tonight. He was super strong. Comes home your race winner here at Legacy Atlanta.
And we'll interview him as well as the rest of the top 3 after a quick commercial break. And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Slack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club. We're back at the racetrack here at Atlanta Motor Speedway after our 5th race of the season to go through tonight's results and interview our top 3 drivers in tonight's race. Dakota Floyd takes the victory after a very strong night, leading over 75 laps of the 100 run here this evening. He takes that win, his first of the season. Noah Mahalski, second place in this one. Very strong recovery after being off strategy. Morgan Lilly, strong performance as well, comes home in 3rd. Jordan Trask going to finish in the 4th position. Justin Ritchie is 5th. Morgan Cook comes home in 6th. Austin Belkey in 7th.
Timothy Peters in the 8th position tonight. Justin Carey finishes in 9th, and Jacob Locklear rounds out the top 10.
In the 11th spot, it's going to be Matt Shinosky, followed by Caleb Weekly in 12th. John Sanu in 13th. Ben Laughter tonight gets 14th. Broderick Baklavic gets 15th. Rob Hamp in the 16th position. Brian Hennings finishes 17th. Max Cost 18th. Tim Shinosky 19th. Richard Holland rounds out your top 20.
In 21st, it was Judson Curtis, 22nd, Logan Watern, 23rd, Michael Muncie, 24th, Tad Dabney, 25th, Keith Shoemaker, 26th, Bradley Cooper, 27th, Jeremy Reed, 28th, Mark McFadden, 29th, Greg Spiker, and rounding out the top 30 is Bryce Shoemaker.
31st is Chris Rude, followed by Matt Dominique in 32nd. Mike Sturgill gets 33rd in that 33 car. Cliff Adams gets 34th tonight. Stephen Davis involved in an accident, 35th. Brandon Wallace, a short-lived night for him as well, 36th. Mark Cofield gets 37th. Rob Denton involved in an early accident, as well as Teresa Spiker rounding out the end of the field here in 39th.
And that is tonight's finishing results. We'll go now to our third place finisher, and that is going to be Morgan Lilly. Into the booth.
Stop. I was really running down.
Hey, Morgan, this is Adam and Jeff in the V-Speed booth. You get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Well, a great battle up there in the final laps of this race. You come home in the 3rd position. You were up there really running in 2nd and inside the top 5 pretty much all race long. Just describe tonight's race, the battle that you had, and ultimately finishing up 3rd here tonight.
The track was definitely really weird today. I will say that, because the track went from running at like 106-degree temps at one point in the race all the way up to about 130 there at the end. So it was definitely hard to keep the tires underneath you and adapt to the track temp. It's a pretty good race though. For most of my race, it's very clean from everybody. But came in with a good day.
Yeah, as you saw the 57 and the 03 battling there in the last 20 laps, you were kind of sitting back. Were you just waiting for an opportunity to get up there and maybe make a move for the race lead, or what was going through your mind in those moments?
I was definitely feeling like both of them were going to definitely use their stuff up really early in that run. But I see that after a few laps of me getting around Noah, after he battled with Dakota, I had nothing for Dakota because I guess he saved his stuff fairly well as he was running the top, battling with Noah. And then me and Noah got to battle in there at the end and just couldn't get back to him.
Either way, a very strong performance from you as you fight to come home in that 3rd place. We go to Talladega next week. How do you feel about going out there?
I don't really know. Just we'll see what happens. See who has the most friends, I guess.
Yeah, definitely important going to Talladega with a few teammates in tow. So come home 3rd here tonight from Atlanta. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely Jordan and Noah. They're Noah McMortar, I should say. Big guys, big thank you to them for letting me hop onto their team and let me run this league, since everybody is making this a great show.
Awesome, Morgan. Well, thanks for taking some time here after the race, and congrats on a 3rd place. We'll catch you at Talladega next week.
Thank you.
That is your 3rd place finisher, Morgan Lilly. We're going to go now to 2nd place. That's going to be Noah Mahalski, and I believe Jeff Wright is with him.
I am. I'm standing by the 03 here of Noah Mahalski. Noah, it's another 2nd place finish for you this season. I know you got one a couple weeks ago at Auto Club. I know you want one spot better, though. What's it going to take to be able to crack through victory lane, and what more did you need there to maybe have something to complete a pass on the 57 there, Dakota Floyd?
I don't know, maybe just a little bit more give and take. I get it, like at the end of these races, it's just tunnel vision. But when Morgan got to me, I noticed he was faster, so I just let him by. And I was hoping he was going to get up with Dakota and they were going to race. So I just sat back and watched for a little bit, and then Dakota just started pulling away. So I tried to get past Morgan, and he was driving me super hard and just slowed both of us down, so neither one of us could get there. I think if that wouldn't have happened, one of us could have got closer, maybe even beat Dakota. but he drove a great race tonight, that last stint.
We were just talking to Morgan Lilly in the 41, and he said that the track temperature and really the track state as a whole just really took a big change the second half of the race and got a lot more slick. Did you feel that behind the wheel? Was it harder to make passes because of the added track temp there in the late goings?
I don't know. It didn't. It definitely got hotter, but I don't think it got looser because of it, which is more so what I would expect. It, if anything, I feel like it got tighter, and so it definitely did make it harder to pass.
Well, no, we go to Talladega next week, back on a speedway. I know you got a good team in Neon Auto and some guys that are really good plate racers. Wasn't the win that you wanted tonight, but going to Talladega next week with a group of some really good teammates, is that a place that you guys feel like you could maybe get it done and make some noise?
Maybe one of the guys, not me though. I'm not a great plate track racer.
Well, either way, no, good luck out at Talladega. But before we let you go, is there anybody that you like to give a shout out to for tonight's second place finish?
Yeah, Strobel Auto Repair, AutoZone, Fanatec, my girlfriend and friends for watching the race. All the league sponsors, all my teammates are always a great help, keeping me cool. And then, of course, you guys up in the booth. You guys put on a great show.
Well, we appreciate the kind words, Noah. Noah Mahalski, 03, gets second tonight. Noah, thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
So not the win that the 03 wanted, but it's going to have a chance to go and do just that. The guy who did do that just tonight, that's your race winner in Dakota Floyd. He's standing by with Adam Baker.
Yep, I've joined Dakota here in Victory Lane. Hey, Dakota, this is Adam and Jeff in the V-Speed booth. Just another great race from you here tonight. You take the victory in dominating fashion, but you had some late pressure. What was going through your mind there those last 20 laps when you had about 4 cars with even strategy and even tires?
Oh, it's just take care of it. Don't give up the spot and take care of it. This track is so worn out. You better take care of it or you're gonna see it fall off quick. And Noah battling me really hard there in those first 10, 15 laps of that run, and my goal was to keep the outside. I knew the outside was fast in the short run. It was going to be really hard for him to get around me on the inside. So take his exit away. Don't let him open his wheel up. Let him wear his right front trying to get around me on the bottom. And then once I can clear him by a decent bit, just keep driving the outside, keep driving the outside. And those guys kept battling towards the end, and it really allowed me to get away.
Yeah, and you had pressure earlier in the race as well, and able to withstand that. Really, anybody who tried to make a pass on you just was never able to get it done, and you were able to defend and then drive away like you did at the end. Very impressive race from you here tonight. We go to Talladega next week. A very different type of racetrack, obviously. How do you feel about going out there and seeing if you can follow up tonight's win?
Plate tracks are usually never nice to me. I think I have like maybe 2 plate track league wins, so it's really hard for me to finish plate track races most of the time. I end up getting caught up in some white flag nonsense towards the end usually, but it's plate track. Just in order to finish first, you got to finish first. You got to first finish. So just keep.
Yeah, that is the age-old saying, and I feel you there. It's probably about the same luck for most of us out here, and it'd be interesting to see if you can go out and get it done there as well. But just a great race all around, great battles, and a ton of fun watching you get this victory tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Well, just got to shout out all my teammates. Informal teammates. We all kind of just hang out in the same voice channel. But shout out to those guys. Great group of guys to run with, talk strategy with, keep everybody on the same page. And I know some of those guys had some rough nights on the strategy, and some of those early cautions, I know those guys got wrapped up in some of the nonsense, but they all stuck with it. They're all champs. They're really, really resilient on the racetrack. They'll finish it to the end no matter what. And shout out to the field. I know we had some early cautions, but once we had those long runs, we had long runs. Like, it gave us a chance to really see who had the ability to keep the car under them and not wear their tires out too much. So definitely shout out to the field. It's always fun coming back here racing every week. Really hard to win, and seeing this is my first win in a season and a half. It's really hard to win here. So shout out to these guys, and shout out to V Speed and you guys up here in the broadcast booth. And you guys do a phenomenal job. It's always a blast to go back and watch. And thank you to all the fans out there that watch us week in and week out.
Awesome, Dakota. Thanks for the kind words and taking some time here to talk to us. And congrats on a dominating performance tonight from Atlanta. Go celebrate, and we'll catch you at Talladega next week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful night.
You. That is your race winner, Dakota Floyd, taking it to victory lane here at Atlanta. Very fun race to watch, especially the late battle here tonight. And Jeff, just so much fun calling this race with you, seeing these guys learn and adapt throughout tonight's race and put on a great show for us once again.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit messy early, but after they got their footing, we got to see some really good green flag racing. Got to see some pit stops and see which guys could kind of separate themselves there. And obviously Dakota Floyd, just an all-around phenomenal night for him. Dominated this race, had the right strategy, took care of the stuff, could pretty much run anywhere he wanted to, and he comes home a race winner here in the SNR Challenger Series.
Yes, indeed. And what a fantastic night of racing it was. We're going to be headed to Atlanta, or we'll be right back here in the Cup Series in just a few moments. That'll be at 10 o'clock this evening. I think we've got a seat here, but yeah, we do. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Stay right here on V Speed. That'll be Bradley Cooper and Connor Horn on the call. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. All the sponsors that make this happen: Walking and Rolling Costumes, Juicy Spider, Clark Print Shop, so many other ones, FireStorm Racing, well as M&J Distributors, big sponsors of this series. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure to stick around for the Cup Series coming up soon. Have a great night.